Namaste, everybody. Honorable Sadhguruji, Sukhdevji, Acharyaji, and friends from different parts of the world. I really wanted to talk about, on this occasion of international gathering of practitioners of yoga and masters of yoga, about yoga as a beacon of hope for today's world. It reminds me of a story which, when I was a child, used to study and laugh about in India. So there was a person he met with an accident, and he got some head injury. And that person used to be very ordinary person, full of sorrows and miseries in life. But then he was hospitalized, and he had to go to ICU, intensive care, and he was operated. Something strange happened after operation. Just after operation, his life got completely changed. He used to be full of joy and happiness. He used to laugh, he used to be happy, smiling all the time. And life was going amazing. After 2-3 years of such happy life, he received a call from the hospital. And hospital admitted that they made a mistake. So he said, whatever it is, I'm very happy. He said, that is a mistake. Then he said, what happened? He said, actually, we forgot to put your brain back. And we did the surgery. But somehow we got in our stores that your brain is still left here. So you want to put it back. He said, no, I don't want. I'm happy this way. But though they said, no, it's not permitted. You have to have brain. Without brains, how can you live? He said, no, I'm very happy without brains. But then he was caught, operated again, and brain was put back into him. And after putting brain back, life again became miserable. When we were a kid, we used to laugh about this story. And that how come we are the most intelligent and least happy species on the planet. If we are most intelligent, we should have been the most happy. This mind drama is the subject matter of Vedanta and yoga since time immemorial. In Sanskrit, we have a word called dhi for mind. Dhi. So Ramakrishna Paramahansa would say there are two people who are always happy on the planet. One, who are Paramhansa, enlightened one. And two, who are Paramamurkha, the most stupid one. You find in the battle of Mahabharata also, Krishna is the Paramhansa. He is clear, no doubts about anything, ready to fight for dharma. Very clear. Another person who is absolutely clear is Duryodhana, Paramurkha. He is very clear that he is going to fight for adharma and lose the battle. Who is confused? Arjuna, the one who is in between. So Paramurkha you'll always find because he is so much into Jagat Prapanch that he don't realize till it is too late that whatever he is doing, he is dwelling in, is useless pursuits. So scripture says there are 3 miseries in life. I'm going to narrate those 3 miseries and you raise your hands if you have witnessed them. So this dhi, when receives the situations, becomes adhi. Adhi means fluctuations in mind, anxious mind. How many of you ever felt anxiety? Can you raise your hands? How many of you felt anxiety in last month? How many of you felt anxiety since last week? How many of you are feeling anxiety right now? Okay, yeah, people. So, so you see, it's very prevalent. So there are three kinds of anxieties. Now I'll narrate them and you identify, have you gone through it? One, first is man versus man. There was a person who said something and you felt anxious. Person who did something or said something that made you feel anxious. Or a person should have said something but he refrained from saying something. Should have done something but he did not do something and you felt anxious. It is called Adhi Bhautika, man versus man. A person is responsible. Think about the last time you felt anxious. Was it a person who is responsible for it? If yes, raise your hands. Somebody said something and you felt anxious. Somebody did something and you felt anxious. Was it the case? Can you raise your hands if it was? Fine. So now you have a better ornamental word to call your anxiety. Adhi Bhautika. Adhi means anxious mind. Bhautika means man versus man. So here, we have anxiety because of some person. People say something. People behave difficult. So, second is Adhi Devika, man versus nature. Now in this case, there is not a person involved, but still you are feeling anxiety. You're feeling anxious. Can you give an example of it? Nobody said something to you, but still we are feeling anxiety. Would you think of anything? Yes, it can be weather. What else? War, yes. COVID. Stuck in traffic where you wanted to attend an important meeting. Yes. Exactly. One of my friend got some money. So he invested in stock. Since the day he invested in stock started falling. Every morning he'll feel anxious. He realized I'm not earning that much as I'm losing every day. So he went to Prayagraj for Kumbh Mela. He showed his kundali to somebody. That expert said, look, it was a mistake that you did. In your kundali, it is clearly written that you can never earn out of stocks. You should sell it. Immediately using the app in front of that Pandit, he sold all the stocks. Next day morning, he found stocks started raising again. He again felt anxiety. He went to that same Brahmin to Prayagraj and he said, you told me to sell it. They are increasing now. I said, I told you, you will never earn out of stocks. Look, you sold and they have started increasing. Anxiety because of any reason. Not a person is involved, but still I am feeling anxious. Man versus nature. Adi Devika. How many of you felt it ever? It can be with COVID, it can be related with stocks falling, it can be inability to catch a flight, it can be weather, it can be anything beyond your control, but we become a subject to it. Now there are third type of anxiety, where neither it is man versus nature nor man versus man, but still I feel miserable. What can be the reason? Can you tell me? No other person is involved. It's not about nature even, but still I am feeling anxious. What is that? I myself am enough for it. There are many people, they tell me, sir, I am sick and tired of my own mind. It cannot stop thinking. It thinks so much. How many of you think that you are an overthinker? Can you raise your hands? We think too much. Somebody told me that my life appears to me like a big obstacle race. in which me being the biggest obstacle. It's a big obstacle race. That is Adhi Atmika. Dronacharya is not telling Arjuna not to attack. Neither Bhishma is telling anything. Arjun himself is thinking. Adhi Atmika. So these Adhis, Adhi Bhautika, man versus man versus nature, Adhi Devika or man versus within, Adhi Atmika, together makes life difficult. These are called Traya, Tapatraya, the three miseries. And what happens is when these persist, then this Adhi becomes Vyadhi. Vyadhi means disease. What Acharya was yesterday talking about, today was talking about post-traumatic stress disorder. It leads to disease if it persists. But there is a choice. Because there are many people who also go through these adhis, these anxieties, but not everybody develops stress. Not everybody develops disorder. Not everybody develops disease. It means there is a choice. What does that mean? There is an art and science through which the same adhi, anxiety, can be converted into some adhi. Some means balancing. Adhi means fluctuations of mind. There are techniques through which we can balance these anxieties of mind. So life is a choice. Some people from the same adhi or anxiety goes towards vyadhi or disease. Some people from the same anxiety goes towards samadhi or peace of mind. So there is a choice. Vedana is a Sanskrit word which means suffering. When Vedana, any situation which brings suffering, if they are processed well, then the same Vedana becomes Veda, wisdom. Shoka is a Sanskrit word that means sorrow. If shoka is processed well, the same shoka becomes shloka. Shloka means rhymic wisdom. So yes, sufferings will come. Yes, difficult situations will come, but we have option to convert the same into samadhi. Not only at individual level, across the planet on this day, I would like to tell. As Yoga Sutra says that the biggest problem why the adhi comes is avidya. When we see things not as they are, but as Jagat Guruji was saying yesterday, we see things as we are. We don't see things objectively, absolute reality. We see transactional reality. We see things as we are. That avidya leads to asmita. I know all of you are yoga sadhakas here. You know all these technical terms. Asmita means limited identity. That creates more adhis. What are the limited identities we live with? So the world today we are living has 14 limited identities. 1. Fundamentalism of religion. My way or highway. If you don't follow this way, you are going to go to hell. So once Swami Vivekananda was in Europe, somebody said, Swami, you will go to hell. So Swamiji said, so where will you go? He said, I will certainly go to heaven because I am a believer of some different faith. So Swamiji said, if you with this mindset will go to heaven, I am better in hell. If everybody with this sick mindset will go, that my way or highway, I am good at hell. Fundamentalism of religion, my way or highway. Fanatic nationalism. It is good to say my country is great. The moment I start using the language of superlatives, greater, greatest, how will you fit with somebody else? I'm a world traveler. In G20, I was nominated as the international coordinator for G20. Central theme was Sudhaiv Kutumbakam under Civil 20. All the nations, wherever I went, even small nations had something to feel proud of. And they were very valid. I went to Turkey. I was talking to those Turk people. They said, yes, we feel so happy that you came. And we see that the boys have done good work in your country. I said, who boys? He said, those Mughals, there are our boys only. Yes, Mughals were Turks. And lots of monuments in India are made by Mughals. So they feel so happy that the boys from Turk did good work there. I went to Macedonia, a very small country, beautiful country. When I went there, he said, we are so happy. You come from the place of father-in-law of our daughter. I said, who daughter, who father-in-law? Then they told that Sikandars, the Alexanders, general of Alexander, got her daughter married to a king in India called Chandragupta. So they felt that because Macedonia is a country of Alexander, once upon a time, half of the world they ruled. Every nation has something to feel proud of. Iraq, when I met people of Iraq, they said that the president of the Iraq is actually the president of the world. I said, that's amazing. How is it? He said the whole civilization first started at the banks of the river Dajla and Farat in Iraq. So all civilizations are descendants of them. You may believe whatever you want to believe, but what I want to tell you is every race, every religion, every nation has something to feel proud of. And better is to respect their feelings. Fanatic nationalism leads to world wars. Wars are happening, geopolitical conflicts are happening. 2012, a wounded child in Syria was admitted to the hospital. He was breathing his last. And did you know what was his last words? He took a deep breath, his final breath. Small child, 3 years old. Before dying, he looked into the eyes of doctor and he said, I'm going to tell God everything. I'm going to tell God everything. What you have done to this planet. 56 active wars are happening on the planet when I'm talking to you right now. 92 countries are directly and indirectly affected right now when I'm talking to you. 97 countries are facing stresses increasing in the last 16 years. I addressed at a program in United Nations. So I was reading their statistics. You know what is the total military budget of the world? It is $1747 billion. $1747 billion is the global military budget. And do you know what is the total United Nations disarmament budget? That not fight, don't fight, that budget. It is 0.69 billion. What does that mean? It means that the total military budget is, if compared to the total disarmament budget of the world, then the total disarmament budget of the world is 0.0003% of the total military budget of the world. UN cannot do it alone. And that's why such institutions like World Yoga Confederation have a greater role to play. They can't do it alone. Every hammer counts. Though the stone gets broken on the 100th hammer or the 10th hammer, but the first hammer did not go waste. When we go back in our own countries and we spread yoga, we spread peace. And that works. Third is region, this region versus that region. Third divide. Fourth divide is intolerant thoughts. I will not tolerate your thought. Only my way of thinking is correct. Only this is true. Rest all is wrong. When we start thinking about it, Sanatana is a religion, is a way of thinking where all different parts are equally respected. If you see Shatadarshana, those 6 thoughts are so different. But we respect all those thoughts. That Rama, how many of you have heard about Rama? Rama, when she laughed at my question. It's a compliment. Thank you. Rama, when he came back from exile, he sent Lakshmana to see whole kingdom. And when Lakshmana came back after seeing the kingdom, then he asked a very important question from Lakshmana. He said, Lakshmana, tell me whether Charvaks in my state are happy or not. Who were Charvaks? Charvaks were those people who never believed in Vedas. What Rama's message was, though you don't believe in Vedas, but still I am your king, you are my subject, and your well-being is my responsibility. That much open for all thoughts. Wealth divide leads to polarization. All those words I'm using right now are United Nations words. United Nations General Secretary mentioned these are the biggest problems of the world today. Geopolitical conflicts, which comes from fundamentalism of religion, fanatic nationalism, region divides, intolerant thoughts leads to threat of multilateralism. Nations do not want to work together. Only I should become rich, I don't bother about others. How can Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam philosophy can survive in such systems? And that's the responsibility on all the yoga sadhakas. We work at micro level, but it creates a macro impact. Status divide. Then the divide on the basis of class, race, caste, color, gender, and sex orientation leads to inequality and justice. That leads to global health issues also, when inequality is there. Next divide is divide of species and habitat. Human beings consider themselves the owner of whole planet, leads to global warming. Ecosystem has become ego system, and that leads to global warming, climate problems. You know what? I was surprised to read this. I think you'll also be. In Paris, all of us came together. When I say all of us, whole world came together to decide that we will not permit world global temperature to increase by 1.5%. It should not increase. 1.5% in comparison to pre-industrialization. When industries were not there, if you compare from that, it should not increase 1.5%. You know how much it has increased today? It is already 1.47%. We are knocking the doors. Because they said if it increases 1.5%, world is in danger. 2024 was the hottest year ever in the recorded history of the world. Temperature is rising so much. And then world in 2015 decided 17 goals for ourselves. How many of you have heard of SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals? Perfect. World together has decided, like we decide our own goals, a student decide his own goals, we decide our goals. World United Nations decided a goal. They call it SDGs. Let me tell you the mark sheet. How much percentage world got? World decided goal is 2015, and today we achieved only 17%. So our mark sheet is 17%. We are so miserably failing. And that's why it is important to resort to yoga. Yoga is the hope for the world. A world which is miserably failing. Yamas, ahimsa, no tendency to hurt any being in any manner. No tendency, it's not hurting. Even absence of the tendency to hurt is ahimsa. Satya, being honest and coherent in words, thoughts, and action. Say what you do what you say, and think what you say. That coherence. Asteya, No desire to claim what is not yours. See, in border problems across the planet, relationship issues, no desire to claim what is not yours. Brahmacharya, walking with higher awareness and sensory restraints. Mahatma Gandhi said, world has enough for everybody's need, but not for a single person's greed. Aparigraha, no desire to take more than what is minimum needed. Only yoga teachers can teach it to the world. And when one of our students will become prime minister of a country, whole country will change. One of your yoga studio student will become president of the country, whole country will change. This is how it has happened. Teachers has influenced leaders. Research shows that the greatest leaders of the world has not followed their parents, they have followed their teachers. Whether good or bad. So, yamas leads to ethical society, purified external behavior. Then niyama, shacha, purity of body and thoughts, pure thoughts. No ill will for anybody. Santosha, ability to appreciate what you have. Being contented with what you have. Gratitude. Automatically mental health problems will reduce. In America, divorce rate is 67%. Look, when divorce happens to husband and wife. Parents cannot have divorce. What happens to the child? Child goes through mental problems. Tapas. Burn all desires in the fire of self-discipline for higher purpose of life. That is tapas. All the desires in the self-discipline for the higher purpose of life. Swadhyayas, know your purpose of life. Majority of the students who join colleges do not have any purpose of life. I'm telling you statistics. Yoga teachers can contribute in making people understand what should be your purpose of life. It shouldn't be like because your friends are doing, you are doing it. Think of it. Majority of the people in the world, when they do graduation, they don't know why they are opting for that graduation. I can bet upon it. There are many researches upon it. You ask yourself, why have you done that graduation? People are confused. No purpose of life as such. In post-graduation, they are more clear rather than graduation. Ishwar Pranidhana, loving surrender of self to the Supreme. Give your best and leave the rest. Elevated individuals and purified internal behavior is the gift of niyamas. Asana, physically fit and purified body. No diseases. It leads to a purified body. Lots of people are suffering from many diseases related to the body. Yoga people have we have lot to contribute in that. Pranayama, breath regulation. Respiratory disease is the cause of 1/5 of the deaths of the world. Biggest cause of the death in the world is respiratory diseases. If we teach pranayama well, how much contribution we are making to the world? Pratyahara, sense control. Regulating and lessening the inputs. Proper senses, controlling the senses. No distracted mind. Pratyahara. Guided mind towards your purpose of life. Mental health. World Health Organization report says every 8th person on the planet is going through mental health right now. Mental health is going to be the next biggest pandemic of the world. When I go to US, people whom I meet, I have found every 4th person has some or the other pill to keep his mood or her mood elevated. Situations are dangerous. And research shows that yoga can contribute in reducing mental worries up to 40%. Dharana, concentration, ability to focus at will, creates a focused mind. Dhyana, meditation, ability to deepen your focus and keep it for long, fixing your mind on your purpose of life. Samadhi is absorption. So with yoga, we can create a world which is individually elevated with niyamas, ethically rooted in society with yamas, physically healthy with asanas, mentally peaceful with pranayam and pratyahar, spiritually awakened with dharana and dhyan, and enlightened with samadhi. This is what is the promised land. And as Acharya ji was saying, that kingdom of heaven is here. When we start walking on this path with patience, certainly we can not only create a better world inside us, we can contribute in creating a better world outside us. Today, for yoga teachers, responsibility is not only for their students, the responsibility is for the world order. And I think that this World Yoga Congress should take this responsibility, that how can we create that better society around. And walking with patience, a small child, just like a small child, when he went to a shopkeeper with his mother, the shopkeeper said, take as many as chocolates you want to take handful of the chocolates. The small child, 3 years old child with hands folded said, I don't want those chocolates. The shopkeeper was very impressed. He looked at the child and said, I won't even charge money, take handful of it. Small child refused, no, I don't want. Mother was so proud. Look at my sanskaras. The shopkeeper looked at the mother and told to the child that even mother will not say no. Please take. I am giving you. Take handful of it. Child refused and said, no, I don't want. Shopkeeper was so super impressed. He himself took a handful of chocolates and gave it to the child. Suddenly something surprising happened. Child took both of his hands and took all the chocolates and put it in the pockets. And again stood smiling. Mother was shocked what happened to his patience. The shopkeeper was super shocked. When mother and child went away, then the mother gave to the child and said, you are such a nice child. Uncle told you thrice to take handful of chocolate and you refused. But then when he gave, why did you take? Small child replied, Mother, when with you I went to the shop, then I had decided beforehand only that if the uncle will say to take handful of chocolates, I will refuse. Because my hands are small, only little will come. My hands are small, only little will come. I wanted, with patience, to impress him with my good deeds, so that he should give me with his big hands. Because I know, Mother, when he gives with his big hands, we get so much that all pockets get filled and no cavity is left. The small child probably may not be knowing the great philosophy he was mentioning of Karma Yoga. Mother, I did not want to scratch with my tiny hands. With good deeds on the righteous path, with patience, I want to impress him. Because I know when he gives with his big hands, so much we get. We get prosperity not at the cost of peace. This is what is the time for all of us. Let's continue walking on the righteous path of yoga with the bigger responsibility of the world on our shoulders. Because as I said, united nations cannot do it alone. But united efforts can certainly do it. It is our planet. We need to hand it over to our kids so that no other kid in Syria, in his last breath, will say, I'm going to tell God everything. So that yoga can contribute in making a peaceful dhi beyond tapatraya, adi bhautik, adi devik, adi atmika. And with limiting that asmita, avidya, so that those limited identities of fundamentalism of religion, fanatic nationalism, intolerance thoughts, wealth, status divide, class, race, caste, color, gender, sex orientation, species and habitat divide can be eliminated. When these divides will be eliminated, we can certainly contribute in creating a better world in and around. And for that, we need yamas, niyamas, and ashtangic marga, so that a world which is individually elevated with niyamas, ethically rooted with society with yamas, physically healthy with asanas, mentally peaceful with pranayam and pratyahar, spiritually awakened with dharana and dhyan, and enlightened with samadhi can be created. So may it be. Tathastu. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.